Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. Recently, my husband's mother had a sudden medical emergency and we needed to fly out to be with her. It was really last minute and we were scrambling to find someone to watch my 8-year-old stepson. I asked my sister, 18 female, if she could help us out by babysitting him for a couple of days. She flat out refused, saying she didn't want to be responsible for him and it wasn't her problem. She lives with my parents, doesn't go to college, and only works part-time on weekends, so she did have the time and the means. She also regularly babysits other neighborhood kids to make extra bucks, so it's not like she can't handle kids or doesn't know how to babysit. I ended up making other arrangements, but I was really hurt by her attitude. Our whole extended family is going on a family trip in October, and I'm paying for my sister's plane ticket and a portion of the hotel stay because my parents can't afford it on their own. So on a whim, I decided to cancel her plane ticket and one of her rooms as a consequence for not being there when we needed her. Now, my family is upset with me, saying that I'm overreacting and being petty. They think I'm punishing her unfairly. I, on the other hand, believe that actions have consequences and that she can't just pick and choose when to be a part of the family. She is upset and accuses me of being controlling and trying to punish her for having boundaries. My parents and other siblings are also mad at me, saying I overreacted and that I should understand she isn't my standby babysitter. I can see their point too, but am I the a-hole? Update. I'm back from the vacation and my sister didn't go. Before we left, she tried to convince me to rebook her ticket. I was actually considering it. I figured it would be better to keep the peace and maybe use the trip as a chance to patch things up. However, during one of our conversations, she made some really mean comments about my stepson, implying he was a burden and that she shouldn't have to deal with someone else's kid. It was unnecessary and completely changed my mind about rebooking. I told her I'm done. So we went without her. Despite the drama, we had a good time. It was a bit awkward getting back though. My sister has now blocked me on everything, and my parents are tense about the situation. I had a long talk with them about the whole thing. They admitted that my sister does need more direction in her life. They said they would be urging her to either finish her diploma or get a full-time job. Otherwise, she'll need to move out of their house soon. They'll give her a deadline soon. I'm not sure what will happen from here, but I hope my sister can start to figure things out. Thanks for all the feedback and perspectives. I am in full support of you cancelling your sister's plane ticket that you would be paying for because of what she did, OP. It was an emergency. You needed her so badly at that moment and she didn't show up. Anyone would be upset if they were in your shoes. Your parents need to stop enabling her. And maybe that will kill some of her entitlement. You were doing her a favor by paying for her ticket and she refused to do you one when you asked her to babysit. Is it petty? Yes, but she totally deserves it, especially after the comment she made about your stepson too. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for keeping my inheritance? Throwaway account because, duh. Background. My family has never been great with money. My sister and I were always provided for. As a kid, I remember we had nice things. I thought our way of life was normal. One night, I found my mom sobbing at the kitchen sink. She had broken the carafe for the coffee maker. She was upset because we couldn't afford a new coffee maker. A teenage boy was consoling his mom over a $10 expense. Fast forward and I finished college. At this point, everything is great. M&D pays off some loans, a trust fund from my grandparents pays some more, and I'm left with a little to pay off myself. My uncle inherited a chunk of money from my grandparents when they passed, as did my mom. Mom gave pretty much all of it to my dad to help him finance his business, which ended up not working out. At this point, my parents are talking about how they are out of money. My mom has come to me, my sister, and my wife saying that she's not sure she can stay with dad with what is happening. 80% of what she inherited from grandma is gone. She has nowhere to go. She loves my dad. It's devastating. None of us are able to help. About this time, my parents started talking with me about my uncle. He has an estate valued over $2 million. Apparently, my uncle wanted my mom to get 50% and me and my sister 25 each. I don't know what to say. How do you even have this conversation? My uncle is still alive and struggling. Fast forward another 3 years and my uncle is gone. I got the call at 5 a.m. My wife held me as I wept in our bathroom, half ready for work. I didn't get a call back from anyone in my family until 9:30 that morning. Begin the 1-year-long estate process. I find out that the will is written to distribute the assets in thirds. Mom and Dad asked me to commit to giving them some of my share in order to achieve the originally intended 75-25-25. I avoid the question, instead focusing on how to make sure we ensure that our family is secure, and not one that waits for the next big break to bail us out. Everyone agrees. I never press the issue of an actual percentage. Time comes, and Mom and Dad talk to Sis and take a chunk of her money that would make the distribution equal to what they have told us they expect. They have not spoken to me yet. Then the call comes. We need you to wire us $325,000. I freeze. They explain their costs of retirement, their budget, and how they'll finally be able to leave me and my sister an inheritance with this money. Their budget is based on taking 2 vacations a year. They live as a couple in a large home that they intend to pay off. This is not what I expected. I say no. After many discussions and clinical emails, I finally said I'm giving them nothing. My sister asked for her money to be returned, and she got it. Mom and Dad have told us that we've stolen from them. I feel like I'm losing my parents. Anything I do now would just be buying a relationship with them, and that's not something I can get right with. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I cannot describe the emotions I felt writing this, and I felt even more reading all of the replies. You all have no idea how close you have come to hitting home on specific details. Thank you, Redditors. I owe you a great debt. You're not the a-hole, OP. There's no way you would be the a-hole in this situation. Your parents are asking you to give them a huge sum of money from your inheritance even after your mom already seemingly got a huge chunk of the money in the first place. They have enough money to last them this lifetime if they just manage it well. No one's gonna bail them out this time, and people really need to stop bailing them out so they can be forced to learn how to manage their money. I'm sorry your relationship with them is strained now, but honestly, you needed to say no. You did the right thing. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. It doesn't sound like your mom is bad with money. It sounds like your dad is very, very bad with money, and your mom foolishly allows him to manage and destroy it. Keep and invest your inheritance, as you may need to bail out your mom a little in the future. Your dad sounds like a lost cause. I also think that the original split they talked about was dreamed up by them and had no relation to reality. Not the a-hole. My mom is horrible with money, and something I've learned is that they will continue to be this way. Even if my mom won $1 million, she wouldn't know how to sustain it because she's not financially intelligent. She has a bad history of spending money carelessly. It's not your fault that you're good with money and you want to save it for your own future. Your mom has gotten a sizable amount in the first place. What about your retirement, your future? Not the a-hole. I want to add on that your parents have been acting like a-holes for a while. They've been planning on this without doing anything to rectify their own financial situation and pressuring you for years. Planning about how they're going to divvy up your uncle's inheritance while he's still alive, and then counting on it is both a-hole-ish and wildly irresponsible. On top of that, it sounds like their share is already more than enough to put them in a decent position without taking from yours. It sounds like your father's business may be a money pit, in which case guilting you and your sister out of money probably won't help long-term anyway. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for firing an employee after his parents died? I'm the VP of sales at a software company, and one of our sales development reps' parents passed away at the beginning of April. Sadly, they were involved in a car crash and both lost their lives. Now, the employee in question is a very young 22-year-old guy and has been with us for about 10 months now. He's a great employee, and we were thinking about promotions in the next 6 months for him. His job is a high-paying one for a new grad, about $90K with commission and base, so we expect a lot from this position. Because of the accident, we let him take a 1-month paid leave of absence from work, and he returned a few weeks ago, and his performance is severely lacking. He's super unmotivated, not cold calling, outreaching to prospects for the last 2-3 weeks, enough since he's come back. Our whole management team has noticed this, and we decided to let him go because we feel like he would need months and months to be able to produce again, and we can't just wait that long. We called him into a meeting on Friday afternoon and gave him the bad news. He was very calm and rude about this, told us to go F ourselves, and got up and went to his desk, grabbed his few things and left. I thought this was very, very unprofessional and extremely rude. I told my boyfriend about this, and he said myself and my management team are a bunch of asses and pricks with no hearts. Am I the a-hole? Update. Holy F, this blew up. I know this was shitty of me now, and I reached out to him to see how he's holding up. He's staying at his girlfriend's place and she's supporting him a lot right now. I offered to get my headhunter friend in touch with him when he's ready, and he accepted. Now for some comments. You are the a-hole for firing him without first going through the steps of describing his issues to him and giving him a chance to improve. He's been back for only 2 or 3 weeks. It's not about having heart. It's about making a dumb business decision for both you and him. So much smarter to work with this guy to get him back on track after a temporary setback than to push the eject button and have to find and start over with a new person. Dumb. You are absolutely the a-hole. 100%. You are the a-hole. Death is incredibly serious and takes time to heal from. He's a human being. I'm so appalled that you made the decision to do that. The stress of losing people you hold close is completely unimaginable. I can't even begin to understand how much worse that gets after you lose your income directly after. Seriously, I am just so disgusted with this action, especially considering he was a great employee who you seemed to feel had room to grow with the company. You're the a-hole, or at least your company is. If he wasn't performing the last few weeks while he was performing very well before, even up for promotion, why let him go? Why not check in on him, discuss the issue, see if there's anything the company can do to get him back on track? Chances are you would have ended up with an excellent employee who's very happy at his job and will stay with the company that supported him. Of course, this can't go on forever, but immediately jumping to firing the guy makes you a lousy employer.